Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the premiere of the Stina Show. Let me find Avi in here. Hey, Avi. Hey, how are you? You too. Thank you.
Everything good?
It's all good. Yeah, it's so beautiful out, right?
Yeah, really nice day. So Long Island and Brooklyn pretty much has the same weather patterns, right? Like occasionally it'll be a little different.
Yeah, maybe you'll get the rain right before us or something. I'm just turning.
Yeah, it's funny I lived in Manhattan, or I go back and forth from Manhattan to Brooklyn. There's a lot of times you like get on the train in Manhattan and it's like really hot summertime, and you get off in Brooklyn and it feels like there's a slight difference in air temperature.
Yeah,
Hot, cold, little like a slight difference. Brooklyn always feels slightly cooler than Manhattan.
it's trippy. Yeah, no, you can walk
Yeah, for sure.
you walk a block down and you have that experience. It's so weird. So welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you for
totally.
being my first guest.
For sure. Listen, I'm proud to be the inaugural guest. All of your support and everything I do has been amazing. Even before this whole thing went down, you're part of my regular 8 a.m. breathing crew. And then they switched the times on me. So, I appreciate all the support.
Yeah, that was fun when we met in person back in the day.
Yeah, totally. And so have you been practicing your singing or any acting? You working on any like skills while you're alone or in your house all the time?
Oh, I'm self-taping a few times a week. Thankfully, these casting
That's
directors, yeah, they're seeing us for the first
That's
time.
awesome.
So actors are really thriving.
Yeah, that's great. Listen, and it's your guys' work, and film producers and editors and directors, all that work is like, people now have the time to watch it, really process it, enjoy it. So it's awesome.
It is, yeah, singing. I mean, the breath work helps automatically.
Yeah, totally. It's funny. I've been doing something in my breath sessions that I lead now where I refer to singers. So, like when someone comes into the class, what I do is I have them try to hold their exhale for as long as possible and just exhale. And sometimes we'll do it with a hum or a vocal exhale, and sometimes it'll just be like a quiet exhale. And there's something really powerful about that, about being able to hold an exhale for as long as possible, whether that's vocally or sighing or silently. And that's obviously a skill that singers use too. I don't know. Did you ever watch the Pavarotti documentary?
No, I have not.
So he says in the documentary that Pavarotti is one of the three tenors, one of like the best or most well-known opera singers of all time. He said it was all the breathing. Like the breathing was everything for him in terms of singing. And I've actually had opera singers in my classes at times, and a lot of it has to do with breathing for them. Holding notes,
Right.
Working with the diaphragm, being comfortable in these long exhale holds. All of that really comes into play. I know for me, before I started like regular breath work, like if I was ever in a meeting, or I remember one time in particular, I was in this interview for this job I really wanted, and I was like hocked up on coffee as I typically am, and I ended up talking, and all of a sudden, like I felt so out of breath because I'd been talking for what felt like an hour, but it was probably 5 minutes, and I went, and like I breathed in and like I snorted, and I felt like in that moment I lost the job. Like I felt like in that moment this guy's like, what's wrong with this guy?
Just trying to breathe, man.
Yeah, and I talk to people now, and like I do privates with people a lot, and
Nice.
we're on the phone, and a lot of the privates are being set up for people that have really high stress and anxiety, and
Right.
I'll notice on the calls with them, because we'll be like this FaceTiming, and all of a sudden they'll like, feel like gasp for air because they feel like they've been talking so much, and they're breathing from like up here, and they're like high ribs and their shoulders, and they'll breathe from up there, and it's like this breath, this gasping for air. You know, it's like such a basic thing we don't think about. It's like the thing we take for granted the most is breath. And it's so interesting now with everything that's going on with like this respiratory situation, and people are thinking about it a lot more. Like, how am I breathing? Am I breathing healthy, not healthy, dysfunctionally, functionally? You know, it's this thing we do all day, every day, no matter what.
Hello.
Back in the old days, I used to lead workshops in person, and I would tell people in the workshop, you know, breath is like the non-negotiable you have in your life. Like, you could go days without sleeping. I've fasted for days without eating, like 3-4 days at a time with no food. You can go a couple days, a few days without water, but breath is that one thing you have to do no matter what. Like, even if you don't breathe for a minute, like, you still have to breathe after that. So you're doing it roughly like 20,000 times per day.
Yeah, that's like
roughly.
the one constant, right?
Yeah, so some people are more, some people are like 26, 27,000 times per day, and other people breathe, what's up, War some people breathe like 16, 17, 18,000 times per day. You could breathe like 30 times in a minute, or you could breathe like once in a minute, or 3 times in a minute. So in my classes, when I teach breathwork, I try to do both. I try to show people what's happening in their bodies when they do like a Wim Hof round, and it's super ventilation, is in, out, fast. And then what happens when we breathe like 1 breath cycle per minute, like 2, 3 breath cycles per minute with these like long extended exhales, long extended inhale, throw a couple holds in there, and then all of a sudden everything changes, and you get all these different physiological things that happen. And I wear this now in the breathing. I
like that.
I'm not doing them in person. And it shows me exactly what's going on in my body in terms of my heart rate and my blood saturation level. And it shifts. It goes up and down and up and down. And your blood saturation just changes completely, and the heart rate changes. A lot of times I start my breathing sessions and my heart's beating like 80, 70 times per minute. And then when we get to a point in the breathing session, the breathing will affect my heart rate to the point where it starts beating like 40, 50 times per minute. I mean, I've even been in breath sessions where my heart rate gets down to like under 30 beats per minute, which seems crazy low, but I'm totally in control. I'm like totally fine. It's like this self-induced experience that I'm having. And it's really cool. Like, I've been calling it the yo-yo effect.
Yeah.
Where like you yo-yo up, where your blood saturation goes up to like 100%, and then you yo-yo down where it goes down to like 30, 40, 50%. And I think for Wim Hof breathing specifically, like, that's where the sweet spot happens. Like, that's where people start to feel the shifts. That's where you get that increase in red blood cells, where you talk about like Wim affecting his autonomic system.
I know. That's what I tell people. He controls his immune system. I've never heard of that before.
Totally. And no one really had prior to him. Or maybe you had if you were like interested in like the Tumo monks, or, you know, ancient, like, you know, mystical breath practices. But Wim has definitely gotten his notoriety partially because he went to science, and he was actually willing to like go into a lab and have them strap him up to machines. Like, I'm guessing a monk that's like in the mountains alone in a cave is not going to allow some scientists to like strap machines like this to him and like run tests on him and prick his finger and give blood and this, that, and the other. But Wim's like that guy, you know, having hung out with him a bunch.
Yeah, I was going to say, how was it working with him? Is he like a magi?
He's down for whatever. The thing I always say about him is, because I spent the most time with him when we went to Oregon to get certified. I spent like 5 days with him with all the other instructors, and Wim was the guy that, like, we finished all of our training and stuff around 5 or 6, and then we had like an hour of free time, and then we could go to the restaurants, like this lodge on a mountain in Oregon. So we go to this lodge, and the restaurant bar was there. There was like this full bar there. There was a restaurant, and they'd serve buffet for us. It was always like vegetarian. And Wim was always in the bar waiting, just hanging out alone, you know, with whoever. Like, no one, we all were busy. We're all like going into waterfalls, going into cold ice baths, and like breathing. And like, some people just needed their time alone after. But if you went to the bar restaurant after that and you hung out before dinner was served, Wim would be there. Wim would be sitting at the bar, drinking beer, not one, not two, like 5, 6 beers. And Wim's that dude who's at the bar, who's like, oh, I'm just going to have one more beer. I'm going to have one more beer. 4 more later, he's still fucking there. He's still telling stories. And he's just that guy. Like, he's that guy where, like, if you challenged him to a drinking contest, he's going to say yes. He's probably going to drink you under the table.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the next day, if we have to climb a mountain, he's going to be ready to go at 5 a.m.
Right.
And he's the guy, like, he's an alpha male for sure. He's got that vibe. But he is, he's just not going to say no to a challenge. And I think that's partially why he does the things he does, like climbing mountains in his shorts and running through the desert and doing all these different things. You know, he doesn't shy away from a challenge. And I think that's kind of why he got to where he was, you know, and I think it also came from a place of hurt. A lot of people that have come to this practice, specifically Wim Hof and other practices too, but, you know, a lot of what I've learned is a Wim Hof method. I've noticed that there's like 2 types of people that become Wim Hof instructors. And this is a generalization, but there's the people that come from a place of hurt, depression, anxiety, fear, you know, not being good or not feeling good. And they go to the method because they need it. They're in that dark place and they need something to kind of pull them back out into life. And there's something about Wim that spoke to them, and he's charismatic. And, you know, one of us, you either watched the Wim doc on Vice or you saw him on Joe Rogan or Tim Ferriss. It's like always these same things that kind of spoke to you. For me, it was the Vice doc, and I was one of the people that was in the bad place that needed something to pull me out of it. And then there's the other types that are like Navy SEALs and black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they're just badasses, and they want one more thing. And this thing they love from the get-go, and they wanted in on it. And for me, I was definitely one of those people that I was having a really rough time. I was struggling a lot with my mood and my energy. And, you know, it was in summertime in Miami when I first discovered it. And in discovering it, I started doing the breathing every day. I downloaded his app and I started doing the breathing religiously.
And the app is free.
Then I thought, what's that?
Anyone could download the app, the Wim Hof method. It's free, right?
Anyone can download it. It's free now. And it's great. I mean, Wim will lead you in the breathing. Plus, there's so many instructors out there like me, and every other instructor I know now, for the most part, is leading online sessions. Most of them are free, which if you have that kind of access to like do a guided session, like I started with the app and I started alone on my couch.
Nice.
And I'd wake up in the morning, I'd get out of bed, I'd lay on my couch, and I'd turn on the app, and it'd be the first thing I do. And I could tell in the breath holds. And I wonder for you, do you know, like for me, it was like in those breath holds and in that first breath in, I could feel something in my body shifting, like something changing and something feeling really good. Like I needed that. And,
especially in the stomach exercise. And you know, the stomach exercise, the quick inhales, when I first did that, I almost felt myself almost losing weight. That's how powerful they were. It was wild.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, you know, you lose about 60 to 70% of the toxins in your body through your lungs, through breathing. So when we breathe in, our body breathes in oxygen, and we convert it to CO2. We exhale CO2. CO2 is kind of considered like a waste gas or an acidic gas. So you're letting go of a lot of toxins. So yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you know, breathing is like this fundamental basic movement that we do. But if your breathing dysfunction is dysfunctional, and you're not sleeping well at night, and you're waking up throughout the night, that's definitely going to affect weight. That's going to affect your appetite, your mood, your energy. So yeah, then I started going into the cold. My first cold plunge was awful. Awful. I maybe lasted 5-10 seconds. I got in, I got out. And it wasn't even that cold. It was like 60 degrees. It was not what I do now and not what I train people. Like that's why when people come to my workshops and they do the ice bath, and they get in and they get out immediately, I'm like, dude, that was awesome.
Right.
That's hard. Just getting in is really hard. If people get in the first time and they stay in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute, whatever, it's a huge accomplishment because it's hard. It doesn't feel good. There's a small percentage of people that I see that go in and it feels good to them. That's like 1% out of 99% of people. There are some freaks that go in and they love it, and you can tell It's what their body wants and craves. They're rare though; they're rare breeds.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everyone goes in and has to figure out how to breathe. And it's a real survival moment. It's a real, like, all the stuff comes to the surface. People, instructors call it like a mirror. Like a lot of times for like all the shit, like a lot of these people with like big egos, they think they're the toughest, the strongest. They go in there and it like the mirror is there and it shows them like, no, this is going to be really painful and difficult. Like here you are, what's going on? And it's funny just to see like how different people react. I mean, I've had people go in there and like they start breathing really intense, and like this one girl was like, right. I'm sorry, my breath smells. I'm like, girl, like I don't give a shit. Breathe, like do whatever you need to do, And I've had a friend go in and apologize because he got out and he didn't stay in long enough. He thought, I'm like, don't apologize, just let your body do what it needs to do.
And
it's the same
and
with the breathing sessions. Like just let your body do what it needs to do and flow with it.
And if we're taking hot showers how many years of our life, we've never, imagine if you've never been in a pool, you don't know cold water, and you've been going, 20, 30 years without cold exposure. That doesn't even sound normal if you logistically,
Yeah, especially for people that I found live in warm climates. Like when I started doing this, I lived in Miami. I would take a hot shower in Miami. I'd get out of the shower. The air conditioning would be on because I'm in Miami, and I would actually shiver out of a hot shower into cold air conditioning. I hated the cold. I found the cold to be this weird thing, and when I visit New York, it was nice to leave to go back to warm Miami and just feel the heat. So I do these workshops in hot places a lot of the time, and it's interesting to see people that come from really warm climates get into an ice bath. Obviously I do them up here in New York too, and not to say that people up here in New York do better than South Florida or Miami or Mexico or wherever. Everyone's sort of different. There's no like proven person that does really well. I find that women tend to do better most of the time than men. I think that's just because you guys have a higher threshold for pain. You guys have a built-in mechanism that makes you uncomfortable regularly.
Yeah, true.
And it just, it's, you guys are just built for it. You have I think too, like I did a breathing session this morning and there were 50 people in there roughly. And I'd say like 40 of them around there, maybe 43 were women.
Wow.
And I think women are more open to these types of activities in a lot of ways. There's obviously the macho, like masculine side of the Wim Hof method where it's a lot of men coming and they want to like really show that they're the man in the ice bath. But, when it comes down to it, my best workshops have been when, it's at least half 50-50 women to man ratio and you have that balance of energy. And I personally love it when a couple comes, when it's like a male-female couple and, male couple, female couple, that's fine too. But it's interesting dynamic when it's a male-female couple and everyone goes in at one at a time into the ice bath. And it's funny. So like, let's say you're there with your partner and your partner goes in first and you watch them either struggle, have a good experience, conquer it, connect to it, whatever you want to call it. And then the partner is watching and the partner's like, oh shit, now I really got to do it. Like I can't skip it now.
You're challenged.
My wife just did it and crushed it or did it and had a total meltdown freak out. So it's funny. It's funny to see that like dynamic.
Speaking of couples, you're expecting a baby, right?
We are.
Congratulations.
My fiance Libby is due. Thank you. With a baby girl due end of June 24th. So
nice.
This is our first baby. It's crazy. It's exciting. We're starting to get stuff on our baby registry.
Oh, nice. Really send it over.
Like little baby clothes. And yes, I'll send it over. So like little baby, like socks and onesies and all of that stuff. So it's super cute. It's been really exciting. It was scary at first, obviously just because it's a human and all of that. But then beyond that too, like this whole thing went down and, we started like really freaking out about, not freaking out, but just worrying about the hospitals, like the state of the hospital. Should we do it at home? should we, what should we do? Because as you know, New York is like the hub right now for this whole epidemic.
Oh, I know. I know. It's wild.
It was scary for a little while. We started deviating from our initial birth plan, and it was like this conversation that we just kept having, and we were avoiding it for a while, and we started having it, and it was like this like elephant in the room. But we're happy with our birth plan. We're sticking with it. We're going to go to the hospital. We're going to go to Mount Sinai, and we've got a good doctor. We trust her.
Good. Yeah, trust
really
is important.
We've heard really good things about, the births that have been happening there. And, Libby's really strong. She's really connected to her body. We took a nice walk this morning. We just talked about that. And, we're just going to like trust our plan and, trust the doctor and the hospital and follow through with that. And,
Great.
Trust that we're going to get through this, and, she's going to be fine. The baby's going to be fine. And, in a couple months, there's going to be 3 of us in the apartment, which is crazy. It's like my dad, who actually just joined, loves to tell me how my life is going to change, and I don't even know how much it's going to change too.
Nice. Hi, Dad.
And
well,
it's hard to fathom.
Blessings, blessings to you both, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I think.
Yeah,
well,
thank you.
do you want to gear up for a breathwork in like a few minutes before? I'll tell the people at home.
Yeah, totally.
They can get in a comfortable position to prepare. What do you recommend?
Yeah,
I'll ask you a question while they're getting ready. What do you recommend they sit? Where do you recommend?
Yeah, so I think it's helpful to lie down when you're starting this. If this is your first time doing breath work, especially if you watch this and it's not live and you watch this later on, because this will save for a while. But if you want to be comfortable and you really just want to feel what your body's doing in the most kind of passive way, I think lying down. I started breathing lying down. Like when I started Wim Hof breathing, it was always lying down. And then eventually I got to a place where I started sitting up and it became more active. So lie down, and if you want to sit, but sit comfortably. Sit with your feet on the floor, or sit on the floor, and just be comfortable. Like this is a practice that you should really be easy with yourself when you're starting out on it.
Okay, great. I'm just going to ask you before we start that. Do you have a deep quote or an enlightenment experience to share with us?
A deep quote or an enlightenment experience. I think I don't really have a quote. I think there was one actually. It was on this card. I forget the name, and if Libby's watching, maybe she could chime in with the name of the author. But it just said, I think it said, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." And I think for me, that kind of ties into my life and what I've experienced in my life. When I was feeling the worst and the most lethargic, I was very well planted in my comfort zone. I was in my little bubble, as my dad and I call it. It was in this bubble of comfort. I was glued to my couch. I had a full array of programs to watch on my DVR or my TiVo, whatever you call it these days. And I was really sort of sad and miserable and not in a good place. And once I started inviting discomfort and stress, good stress, like hormetic stress into my life, hot, cold, breathing, exercise,
good stress,
yoga, all these different practices, I started to feel better. Our bodies crave it. Like I know it's hard sometimes, especially when you're in that lethargic place. The hardest thing to do is the thing you're supposed to be doing. And the hardest thing to do is to get off the couch and just go for it and just try something new. And maybe it's gonna suck the first time, but you know what? Keep doing. Get a dopamine release. Get a boost of endorphins. Let your body start to grow with that practice, because it takes time and it's really good for you. And you start to sleep better. Once you start sleeping better, you'll feel better. If you're not sleeping well these days, shift something. Try some breathing. Try yoga class. Try some different things, because sleep is really the ultimate regeneration tool that we have. It's something that we all need to do.
Going back to Pavarotti, I think one of his tricks was sleeping a lot. I forget which famous musician, but they said they slept all the time, and then they would perform, and then they would take care and sleep again. That was their trick too.
Yeah, NBA
What?
players, they talk a lot about that now. Like, they brought in a lot of sleep experts for like LeBron and all these high-level NBA players because they're playing a ton of games. They got a high, a high usage rate, 82 game seasons, and then playoffs. And the only way they're going to make it through is sleep. And listen, when you're young and you're in your early 20s, you can get away with it. I did. But then eventually you got to kind of get into a nice dialed-in program. Our circadian rhythm is built for going to sleep when the sun goes down and waking up when the sun goes up and letting the sun hit you and feel the sun. That's how our biology is set up. Thousands and thousands of years of our bodies living by the sun. And now we have all this artificial light, in our apartments, in our homes, and in our phones.
Right.
That light confuses us in our circadian rhythm. So start living, more towards the sunlight and use the sunlight. That's another great tool we have.
Thank you. All right. So you want to get into this a little intro
I
session?
could go off on that forever.
I know. I could listen forever. I don't know how long this lasts. So okay. So what do you think a good intro session for people is that we can do?
So I always start any of my sessions just with 6 breaths, and we'll kind of build it from there. So again, sit comfortably. If you're lying down, just be nice and comfortable with yourself. If you're sitting up, just sit up and relax. And if you have your phone in your hand right now, put the phone down. You don't need to see me. You just need to hear me. So put the phone down, close your eyes, relax. And let's just all take one deep breath in through the nose. Big inhale all the way in. Let it go with a big sigh. Let it go. Let's do that a few more times. All the way in through the nose. Let it go. Big sigh, exhale. One more, just like that. All the way in through the nose. Let it go. 3 more. Big inhale all the way in through the nose. Nice and slow on the inhale and the exhale. In. Let it go. Last 2. All the way in. Let it go. Last 1. Big inhale. Fill it all the way up. This time, hold the exhale out as long as possible. So like that singer holding the note, hold the exhale. So let it go. And pause here. Just pause for a moment at the bottom. See if that 6 breaths was enough to relax you a little bit. Don't look at your phone. Stay not looking at your phone. Keep your eyes closed. Relax. Relax your jaw here and roll it out. I've been definitely tensing the jaw a little bit. Roll your neck out a little bit. Been looking at my phone a horrific amount of hours these days. It's really nauseating, the iPhone analytics. So go ahead and roll your neck out. Let's take another deep breath in, all the way in through the nose. Let it go. Shake it out. Shake your hands out a little bit. Roll your shoulders back a little bit. Move your head around a little bit. And let's inhale for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Slow. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Slow. Exhale. Feel the air just slowly falling out of you. The exhale is how we relax. Pause for a moment at the bottom. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Slow. Exhale. Easy. Calm. Remember, the exhale is how we're calming our system down. It's through our exhales. Pause for a moment. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Slow. Exhale. Easy. Feel the air just falling out of you. Feel it start to dial down. Feel that heart rate going down. That's what happens when you exhale. The heart rate goes down. What's up, Adam? Big inhale. All the way in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause it. Slow. Exhale. Easy. Calm. Feel the air just falling out of you. I always think of a sink to a kitchen, that faucet, that air just sort of dripping out of you, like that faucet just dripping out air. All the way in. Last 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Let it go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Last one. All the way in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Slow. Empty it all out. And at the bottom of your exhale, hold it. And just see how long you can hold for here. See if you can feel your heart beating. See if you can feel any shifts happening. And see how long you can hold for. And when it's time to breathe, when you get that notification from your body that there's some air hunger, take a nice easy breath in through the nose. Nice and easy in. And just run a quick body scan, see where you're at. In breathing sessions, you should always be scanning your body and noticing, this was uncomfortable, this was nice, this was relaxing, this is good for me, this doesn't feel good for me. Just kind of don't overdo it with the running it all down, but kind of get an idea of what is enough to dial you down a notch. Like, there's different exercises that work for different people. So if there's something in particular that works well for you, notice that and bring that into your regular practice. Or if you're just starting a practice, start with that exercise. And know that 6 slow breaths in through the nose is all it takes to lower heart rate and blood pressure. That's scientifically proven. And then what we did after was a 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. That 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale is enough to get you down to 6 breath cycles per minute, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a very calm place to be in. That's a really easy, gentle place to be in. 6 breaths per minute. So think of a high-stress situation. It could be involuntarily holding your breath. A lot of people do that when they're really stressed and they're really tight. They hold their breath. Like, remember when I was in that interview and I was talking while I was holding my breath on some level there?
Yeah.
Also, when you go into an ice bath or a cold plunge or a cold shower, what you're doing is you're over-breathing. Then you're
yeah, right.
breathing short and shallow. So 6 breaths per minute is sort of like the antithesis of that. That's slow, easy in and out. So breathing's like a wave coming in and out, nice and easy, nice and slow, 6 times per minute is a really therapeutic, relaxing place to be in. So if you're stressed right now, you're feeling like you can't take a deep breath, focus on the exhales. The exhales will calm you down. A lot of people say, relax, take a deep breath. It actually should be, and I've been using this a lot lately, is relax, take a long exhale, because that's what calms you down. CO2 in your body is what you're releasing when you exhale. CO2 is kind of known as the stress molecule. So the more CO2 you have in your body, the more anxious and stressed you might be feeling.
Yeah.
So to release that is to exhale, is to So by holding your exhales and extending your exhales and focusing on the exhales, that's what's going to calm you down. So for people that watch this, if you're feeling tight up here in the chest, you're feeling like you can't take a deep breath, just go let it go.
And if you think about it, people, when you eat, you're inhaling all this stuff. So you're not really ever exhaling fully. You're just inhaling all the stuff, even,
Totally.
and then, right. So you're never fully exhaling.
Yeah. And even when we're talking, like if you spend the day like auditioning and you're talking and talking, you're in classes or you're at work and your whole day is consumed with talking, you're not breathing functionally then. You're not breathing through your nose. You're not calming your breathing down. You're just talking. You're expelling all the CO2 and you're breathing a lot. You're breathing through your mouth a lot. So I've noticed on days where I've done a workshop, even though it's not necessarily like a day of like hiking or exercise or working out, it's not super physically taxing. It's vocally taxing. I'm talking all day long. And if you work in trade shows, I used to work in trade shows, you're on your feet all day, but you're talking a lot. That talking all day long will tax you because you're breathing so much through your mouth. You're expelling all this CO2. You're breathing. You're doing that thing we talked about in the interview. So if you do find you're working from home these days and you have to talk a lot, like I was in sales and I had to talk a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'd come home from my sales days of sitting in a cubicle or a phone booth or whatever on call after call after call. I get home, I don't want to say a word. I want to be quiet and I just wanted to listen and relax. And so if you are talking a lot these days, just give yourself a break. Slow it down. Some nasal breathing. 5 in, 5 out. Nice and easy, calm. Let your body relax. Let your body recover.
Oh, great. Thank you. So when we get back in person, we can find you I want to do one of those ice baths. I'm so excited. I wish I did it before this thing.
I've been waiting, girl. I know. We've been talking about it.
Damn.
Well, you're in Long Island too. You could just roll over to the beach. I went to Jacob Riis Beach last week, and I jumped in the ocean then, and it's cold. It's chilly. So you still have that option. But yes, in person, hopefully sometime relatively soon. Social distancing, ice baths. I mean, no one's going in there with you. But yeah, if you want to start practicing now, the best way to practice is go into your cold shower. I don't personally start the showers cold. I start warm, lukewarm, hot even, and I enjoy my shower. And then at the end, I turn on the cold water, and I don't necessarily turn it all on at once. Like I start with the warm on and the cold on, and I slowly work my way down to cold.
I do it. I try it every night, and it's so hard. I barely even get 10 seconds cold, but I try every night.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. Honestly, trying is the best. Just give yourself a shot with it. Also, I've learned to I kneel. I find kneeling helps, so that way it's hitting all of me at once, and it's giving my head that brain freeze. I kind of scoot back and let it hit my chest and my back. So kneeling low, letting it hit as much of you as possible, that helps. And like we were saying, focus on the exhales. So if you're in there and you're like, go, and then get control of it, start to slow it down, and then go to the nose, start breathing through the nose, start slowing it down, take a pause at the top, at the bottom, and try to get to that 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. That's a really calm place to be. If you can do that kind of calm breathing in a cold shower, in an ice bath, in a highly stressful state, you can do it anywhere. It's really good for you.
Right.
Slow down the breathing, breathe through the nose. If you're feeling stressed, start breathing more through your nose. That's the way the body was designed to breathe.
So people can find you online right now. Where can people find you?
At AVI. Yeah, so I'll put it in the comments right now.
Okay.
At AVI. And I'm doing a live breathing session this Saturday at noon. It'll be on Zoom, not in person. It'll be on Zoom. It's donation based, so feel free to donate if you're in a good spot for that. If you're not, just join, just come. We'll go more into breathing exercises that you can utilize now. It's a focus on immune boosting breathing exercises. So both the calming stuff and also some of the upregulatory stuff that gets kind of the immune system energized and activated. And it'll be at noon. It'll be on Zoom. So if you sign up from now till Saturday morning, I'll send the links out, and yeah, I'm excited to have you join again. Like
Yeah,
I
I'm
said,
excited.
huge supporter, fan. It really means a lot to me to be on here.
Yeah,
First
thank you.
guest is awesome. I love what you're
Oh,
doing.
I
So
know.
just keep doing it.
Can I just ask one more? What do you
And the
recommend for?
Pavarotti documentary is worth watching.
I'm gonna watch it. What do you recommend for people at home to do
It's a
at the moment, like a short breathwork session? I know you said there's a box breath.
yeah. So the box breath is really nice. The box breath is in for 4 through the nose. Everything calm is through the nose.
Okay.
So focus on calm breathing through your nose. So it's in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold at the bottom of the exhale for 4. So it's a box, it's a square. You can play with the numbers too. It doesn't have to be 4, 4, 4. It could be 5, 5, 5, 5, so on and so
And
forth.
should people
you can play around with the exhale length if you.
Or should they try this once a day? Or
yeah, I think it's a good way to start your day, and it's a good way to end your day. If you are working from home, I work with a lot of companies, and the staff is working from home, and they're on their laptops all the time, and they're coming into the group breathing sessions really stressed. Give yourself a pause, like give yourself a break, step away from the laptop. Even if you can get outside for a minute, take a walk around your block, focus on nasal breathing when you're walking outside in general, and just take some nice, easy, long and slow breaths. Don't be harsh with yourself. Take it easy, and then come to one of my sessions or come to another breathing session of another instructor, and try some other practices. Try to build on what you're doing, and learn as many tools as you can.
You have
it's good to have a robust tool.
You have Our Breath Collective, Frequency. You're all over right now.
Yes, so Our Breath Collective, I'm a guide for them. It's a live morning breathing session at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. So it's me and about 6 other guides. And what we do is we lead in a 12-minute breathing session on Facebook Live. It's a great program. There's a monthly subscription, and you have all these different practitioners. You have Wim Hof, Zen meditation guides, DNS guides, so all different kinds of breathing exercises there. And then Frequency, we do Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. I do a breathing session. That was our old session where we would do it in person.
I gotta get over there.
Tuesday at 9 a.m. and then and then Thursdays at the assemblage 10 a.m. and then privates. I'm doing a lot of private breathwork sessions. So if you need a private session, there's something really specific you want to work on, hit me up. I'm totally flexible with pricing these days. I get a lot of people, might be in between work right now. So
yeah, I think I'll get over there soon.
And then Saturday I'll be doing. Yeah, and then this session on Saturday, I think I'm going to be doing these every other week. So if you missed this Saturday and you want to join, just shoot me a message, and we'll put you on the list for the following week. And yeah, I'm going to try to build this one out. Hopefully we'll start to get big numbers on these ones, so that way this could be like our little nouveau AVI community of people that have been to the workshops or been to the breathing sessions that just want to, work with some of the stuff we've done together already.
We could all use it, so thank you. Thank you for sharing it with us.
My pleasure. This was a blast. I really appreciate you having me on here.
Thank you. You're my first guest, Avi. I love that.
Yeah, I love that, girl. Listen, keep it up. I can't wait to see the next episode.
Yes.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
And let me know whenever you want to join a breathing session, and anyone else that wants to join, let me know. And if you're just joining in now, Peyton, this will be recorded for the next 24 hours on the Stina Show, so check it out.
Yes.
I talked about where I started from and my breathing journey, and when I was a lethargic little guy on the couch, I couldn't get off of it. And yeah, we did a breathing exercise too, so maybe that will be appealing to you to utilize. And then otherwise, I'll see you on Saturday.
Happy Mother's Day. I'll see you Saturday first.
Yeah, I'm doing my own IG Live interview today as well for Colin Huggins, who's the pianist who plays at Washington Square Park.
Oh, that's cool. I saw that. I love that guy. I've seen him many times in Washington Square Park.
He's a unique guy. He's a good friend. He was my first private breathwork client.
Wow.
Like the first regular person that I worked with. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
we would just meet in Washington Square Park and we do breathing underneath the tree on Friday mornings right before I go to my 9 to 5.
It's amazing.
And he's a breath junkie. He's a nerd for breath work. He would always have a new practice that he'd want to show me. He's like, I came up with this. Let me show you what I've been working on. And we'd sit under a tree and he'd show me what he's working on. He's like, have you ever done this? Have you ever tried this? Like, no, Colin, I've never done that. I've never tried it.
So what time?
Really, really cool working with him. So 6 p.m. on my IG Live.
Right here, pinned below.
Pianist from Washington Square Park.
Cool. Well, thank you, Avi. Have a good day. I'll see you Saturday.
I'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. So I want to say thank you for everyone for joining my first talk show episode. Next week we will have singer-songwriter Steph Serenita. I can't wait. She's going to do a performance for us. She's based in Connecticut. And looking forward to having you again. I hope you enjoyed Avi's techniques. He's amazing. And he's only getting started. So thank you for showing up. Happy Mother's Day weekend to everybody. And love to you all. Blessings. Stay safe.